Hey guys, Vamsy here, back with another awesome streaming devices video. Today we'll be comparing streaming devices that support 4K. So of course, obviously I love Apple TV because I'm in the Apple ecosystem. And if you're in the Android ecosystem, it makes way more sense to get the Nvidia Shield TV. But what I want to know is that how good are they in terms of hardware capability and supported apps or just ease of use? Well, let's put it to test and find out. Now, before we see the differences between Apple TV and Nvidia Shield TV, let's find out what the similarities are first though.
So both have premium build quality with premium prices, and both support 4K HDR Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. Moreover, both are powerful enough to run some good games, be it on Apple Arcade on Apple TV or even Nvidia GeForce Now for Nvidia Shield TV.
Now with that out of the way, let's see how different they are. And the most obvious one is of course the design. This one's square and this one's rectangular. This one's a bit more elegant, but there's more to it than that.
The Apple TV 4K has a conventional boxy design with an Apple logo on the top, and on the back there's an HDMI port, a power port and an Ethernet port. Talking about the remote, the Apple TV comes with a premium looking aluminium remote which supports Siri. It also has a touch interface to navigate and built-in motion sensors so kids can enjoy games like tennis or bowling and etc. Also, the remote is rechargeable via lightning cable. Shield TV on the other hand has a unconventional rectangular design, and the new Shield TV which comes with a cylindrical design. I kinda like the rectangular design better though. On the back there's the usual HDMI port, a power port and an Ethernet port.
Another major difference though is the USB ports. Nvidia Shield TV has 2 and Apple TV has a 0.
However, it makes up for it with a new Find My Remote button like you get with Roku, so if you lose your remote under the couch or something, you can easily find it. Talking about the remote, the new Shield TV remote is much improved over the previous generation. It's thicker and more comfortable to hold and offers more dedicated buttons for Netflix and volume controls unlike the previous gen. Overall, in terms of design, both are equally good, and it's just a matter of personal preference which is subjective for everyone.
Now, when it comes to software and app support, they're completely different. It's like comparing, iOS and Android, just like, Star Wars and Star Trek. They're both different and really good. Of course, iOS is way better, just like Star Wars.
I personally like the tvOS interface since I'm already in the Apple ecosystem. But personal biases aside, just look at the home screen. It's clean, the colors are soothing, the icons are rectangular, there's no ads or bloatware unlike the Android TV, where you can even run an unoptimized version of the app for TV interface. All the apps on Apple TV have to be handcrafted for a TV interface. And here's where the Apple ecosystem comes into play. You can cast your iPhone or Mac screen using AirPlay, or even control your Apple TV with your Apple Watch. Overall, the simple philosophy of Apple TV is it's doing few things, but whatever it does really well. Android TV on the other hand also has a decent interface with all the popular apps like you can find in Apple TV, say Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, yes, it's there. Much like the App Store on Apple TV, there's also a Play Store, which also has all the apps that are optimized for the TV interface. I mean, the apps catalog is pretty much the same. However, on Android TV, you can sideload pretty much any Android mobile app, which means the potential for apps on Android TV is endless. For example, I was able to run Smart DNS VPN on Shield TV easily and bypass geo restrictions on Netflix. This is not possible on Apple TV, but then again, I have to say, the Android TV experience is not as flawless as I get on Apple TV. Another highlighted feature of the new Shield TV is the AI-enhanced upscaling, thanks to the new Nvidia Tegra X1 Plus chipset. In simple words, it uses machine learning to teach the Shield TV to know what 4K should look like and use that knowledge to upscale a regular HD video. And by the way, all Android TVs come with Chromecast built in, so you can just mirror your computer or your Android smartphone easily, or even cast videos from your phone. Overall, again, this boils down to personal preference. If you're the kind of guy who prefers tinkering with stuff and trying out new apps, Android TV is more suitable to you. However, if you're the kind of person who just wants to try a few popular apps and then want the whole experience to be seamless, then Apple TV is the way to go.
So yeah, gaming now is a huge part of Nvidia Shield TV and Apple TV, considering that it just introduced Apple Arcade. And of course, Nvidia Shield TV comes with a controller, or you can just buy one off of Amazon. And Apple TV now supports PS4 and Xbox One controllers. Well, how do they compare in terms of gaming library? Let's see.
So Apple recently launched its gaming subscription service, Apple Arcade, which basically is like Netflix for games, with some pretty good exclusives under its belt, like Oceanhorn 2, Hot Lava, Skate City, and then a bunch of others. By the way, we did an entire video on this, so click on the YouTube card if you're interested in that. And not just Apple Arcade games. Apple TV also has some popular games like Inside, Hyperlight Drifter, Limbo, and a bunch of others. And the fact that you can hook up your PS4 or Xbox controller to play them, that's just amazing. Shield TV is also known for its gaming capabilities with GeForce Now, which is the OG cloud streaming. You can play some AAA titles like Assassin's Creed, Batman, The Witcher on the Nvidia server. Yes, you heard that right. Unlike Apple Arcade where you can download the games, you can't do that on Nvidia Shield TV. So if you want to play those games, you need a high-speed internet. On the flip side, the games are free, so that's nice. If you don't have high-speed internet, you get other options such as downloading games like Asphalt, Doom from Google Play Store, which works fine and pairs up with any Bluetooth controller and not just PS4 or Xbox controller like Apple TV. Overall, the choice is really simple here. If you have high-speed, reliable connection, Shield TV makes more sense, since it has AAA titles, where if there's no internet, Apple TV is better as it deals the games that are reasonably good but works offline.
Well, which one should you buy? Well, it makes way more sense if you've got an Android phone, you just choose Nvidia Shield TV, because Google Assistant, it just helps things make it much easier. And if you've got an iPhone, Siri is not as great, but it still does the job. So you can take Apple TV for that. But then again, that's not why you clicked on this video now, did you? Because there's way more to it than that. I'd recommend the Nvidia Shield TV if you want to tinker with stuff a little bit and sideload apps onto it, or even have extra external storage. But the biggest of them all is that you can play AAA games on this little thing with just a remote. In a nutshell, if you're heavily invested in the Apple ecosystem, it just makes sense to buy Apple TV. But for everyone else, just go with Nvidia Shield TV without a doubt. I'm Vamsy, thanks for watching, and check out our other video that we've made on Apple TV games, Nvidia Shield tips and tricks, Nvidia Shield TV games. There's a bunch of those. There's a playlist somewhere, so you can just click on that to watch that. Thanks for watching again. See you in the next one.